Informed, outspoken, wild, fearless. This is the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Trophy Smack, the dude's favorite place to get our fantasy football trophies, participation awards, ribbons, toilet seat covers, whatever you need for all your fantasy football needs. Just go to www.trophysmack.com/dudes. What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast. I am joined by Phill, Seth, and Jordan. We are sitting a little different here, and it kind of threw me off how to do the names, but it's okay. We're at a little round table, kind of like some old knights or something.
Trent likes it when his thigh rubs with Phil's. They like that touch.
That is, I hope that's not what he was telling you before I got
Seth,
here.
you just left Trent speechless again for the second time in like 2 weeks.
I don't know what to say. That is not true, though, is the only thing I will say.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was.
Well, the camera can't prove otherwise. Wouldn't be surprised you guys are holding hands down there.
Yeah. So if you
Can we
want
get a hand check?
hand check right there. Go to TFF Dudes on YouTube. Check us out. Give us a sub. Give us a thumbs up. But most importantly, don't be rude. Share the dudes. Really helps us out. We are not sweaty. It is nice and cool in here.
Feels great. Trent's wearing jeans.
I'm wearing jeans right now. It's
PSL season, baby.
PSL, pumpkin spice latte. If you go in the evening, I think it's BOGO. Buy one, get one free, Phil. Is that true?
I am a Starbucks guy. I should know this. I don't know if that's true.
Way too many acronyms being used in two sentences.
I just said PSL, pumpkin spice latte. Dude.
And Trent said BOGO.
You're gonna be upset at me for saying this, and that's okay. But I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. I'm just saying, like, you got if you're looking to take a nice lady on a date, like pumpkin spice is like a winner, I would say, for the most part. Would you agree with that?
Unless
Trent?
they really don't like it.
But for the most part, I would say most people like it.
I think it's a good gamble because it's seasonal. It's not
seasonal.
there all the time, so it might be like, maybe it's.
It
not
seems
their
like you're adventurous.
Yes.
And maybe you buy like a nice fall mug so they can remember you. Like every time they're getting a warm cup of Joe, they're like, "Oh man, this reminds me of Jordan." Like that's. I'm just trying to think of ideas here.
Maybe you should do that for your wife sometime, Phil.
What I'm actually doing, they haven't rolled out their fall cups yet, Jordan. So maybe wait a couple weeks before you try that strategy. I'm not going to say it.
I'm just really curious, like, who actually drinks out of mugs anymore? Like, it's all like travel mugs or like Yeti sort of style mugs. Like, no one drinks out of like traditional mugs anymore.
Well, when you wake up early in the morning,
Unless
sometimes you have a nice cup
home,
of coffee to sit down and.
Or maybe if you have like you work in an office and like they have like a coffee machine.
That's basically it.
Seth, I think a lot more people than you think still do that.
But
Yeah,
you,
it's
but it
probably
makes
all
sense for
over
you
the-
to do it. You
They're
get
all
on the
over
road
the
and
age.
you drive.
They're all over the age of 40, probably, but they still do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe more people our generation are more like in the travel style.
Well, because a lot of people aren't getting up and enjoying their coffee before, like they don't get up at 6 a.m. and sit down and like kind of relax for 30 minutes when they get up.
Getting their COJ, cup of Joe.
Okay,
Another abbreviation over there for you.
Don't wink at me ever again.
It's this new setup, man.
Sweaty hands.
It's got everyone. It's got everyone excited. Anyhow,
So we are doing our week 2 recap. We have some news and notes, just where we were right, where we were wrong. Had a little bit of a rough week in the sits category. I feel like I was a little bold on those anyways. But before we get into our recap of our, you want to do starts and sits right now? Do we want to jump right into that, or you want to do a little bit more week 2 notes, Jordan? Like,
We can just jump into what our starts and sits were like.
yeah, like Seth is 0. I'd say Seth is 0-2 on the night. He said that me and Phill were rubbing thighs, which was a lie, and he said no one uses coffee.
I can't tell, Trent, if it's a lie or not.
He said it was coffee mugs. So if Seth is 0-2 for the night, Chargers are 0-2.
Let me
He
say
might
this.
be
If your
1-1.
guys' shoulders are almost touching, I guarantee your legs are touching.
yeah, but the problem is I have broad shoulders.
Same.
And Trent has
and
broad
you have skinny
thighs.
legs.
Well, if you look at the aerial view, you can tell our shoulders are not touching.
Yeah.
But Chargers are 0-2.
0-2.
They had an 11-0 lead at one point in today's game. They lose to the Titans. They were 2 for 14 on third down.
That's terrible.
Justin Herbert deserves a lot better.
Or he needs to be better.
I think they need to fire their coach. And I think that's what's going. I was surprised he didn't get fired last year.
He's a stats guy. He's not a Dan Campbell guy. You know what I'm saying? They need a Dan
He's not
Campbell
a stats guy though. Like he is, but he isn't.
He claimed to be a stats guy.
Yeah, I know, but then he does like really dumb stuff that's not analytically based.
Name
he
one
like,
thing.
Huh?
Name one thing.
He's saying
No, like when he'll go for it in times it doesn't make sense, or like he does things that are analytically, and then sometimes he wants to be Dan Campbell, and then goes against the analytics. So you can't be both.
Yeah, I'm just saying like he claimed to be an analytics guy.
No, I know he does.
Yeah,
but then he does stuff that the analytics say not to do.
Yeah,
I will say they were missing Eckler. That's a big deal.
yeah.
But lose to OT and versus the Titans. I kind of think this is like the most puzzling team in the NFL. It's not really making sense
Well, I don't
to
think
me.
the Chargers defense is garbage.
Yeah, and just how the whole setup of
Their
they're made
defense
to be
is not
ran
good.
on.
Their defense is not good.
It should be better though.
No, you're right. It should be. Their defense is not good though.
Yeah.
Who that's one game I did not pay attention to much today. It just wasn't on my screen much, but I know like the passing game was good. Herbert wasn't bad, Trent.
Keenan Allen had a good
no,
game.
he wasn't.
Henry
wasn't
And
bad.
Mike Williams had Mike Williams. I should that guy.
It was a weird game.
Henry
It was a really weird game.
Henry was 25.
Okay,
Yeah, 79.
so one of the
touchdown.
Titans scores was off a Treylon Burke 70-yarder. They had they had a couple big long pass plays, and that's it.
Keenan
Like,
Allen had 2 TDs, as you know.
I mean, Derrick Henry wasn't great.
I played Tyjae Spears in a dynasty league. He got me like 7 points. Like that's pretty solid for a backup running back you didn't think was going to do anything.
Henry 4 targets is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a weird game.
The Titans could be 2-0 right now.
Who'd they lose to last week?
Didn't they lose to the Saints? Wasn't it a close game?
They
against
had a
the
tough
Saints?
game with the Saints. Yeah.
I will say this: Titans' pass defense is not good. We need to be targeting them. That's 2 games in a row they've given up over 300 yards passing.
Yeah, like nothing changed in the offseason. You know
Who
what
do
I
the
mean?
Titans play next?
Browns.
The Browns. Okay. Yeah, the thing is, the Browns like to run the ball.
Man, I'm just gonna say it might be on Deshaun Watson next week. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and we'll see how he does on Monday Night Football too.
His numbers are low. Like his over under passing yards for tomorrow's game is like 195.
I kind of hoped he's kind of sucks tomorrow, and then we might get him in like a good under own bounce
Like we might
back
get him
spot.
at like a 175
Yeah,
passing, and
yeah.
he'd be like hit
Yeah.
250.
Potentially no Amari Cooper Monday Night Football.
That's a big deal
I'm
actually.
seeing no lines for him. No Mark.
I don't think he's gonna play.
I would assume not. I think the Browns are just going to run the ball a ton tomorrow, anyways. So
Good turn. We gonna go over these starts and sits or what?
Yeah, we can do that. I just was kind of going through some.
You want me to, I have them here.
stats
I
here.
have
Yeah,
at
go-
least
go
I think
for
I
it.
have them here.
Yeah, we can.
I think probably Seth. Do you want to own the Eagles running backs? Do you want to own that a little bit?
yeah,
Man,
I'll
I just
just
got
start
owned.
with that game because both my sits are in that game. So my first sit was the Eagles running backs, and I mean, I guess I wanted to stay away from it. My reasoning behind it, I was dead wrong. But my immediate reasoning behind it was it's going to be a high-scoring game. They're going to be throwing the ball a ton. But the reason the Eagles scored a lot was because their run game was really good. DeAndre Swift, 28 attempts for 175 and a touchdown. I mean, he put up 25 fantasy points, so that's just a bad sit from me. The Eagles' run game is good. My other sit was Madison. I think I just hit the nail on the head right here. Like, he played 76% of snaps, had 3.4 points, a fumble. I mean, he was 8 for 28 yards. Like,
Swift was 55%.
bad.
Swift was 55% started on Sleeper, and Sleeper is our favorite place to play fantasy sports, guys. They also have some other fun stuff. You can do some live plays. Enter Dudes 100. They'll match you up to $100, guys. But go check us out on Sleeper. And actually, Jordan is a little bit of a burner right now. He's been sharing some plays on Instagram, so you'll want to go give him a follow there. But if you don't give him a follow there, I will be reposting those at TFF Dudes, and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at TFF Dudes.
it's the video magic.
Yeah.
We're hitting video magic. We weren't hitting picks, and as soon as Jordan started posting videos, we're hitting the picks.
My grandpa
True.
told me once, anything you publish automatically corrects itself.
There you go. So we're publishing every pick from now on, as long as they're still good.
Do you not agree with that, Phil? Like, you can't just publish stuff about yourself that's bad. Like, if I
Phil's
wrote bad
Instagram
things
would
about you all the
disagree with you,
time,
That's
Trent.
what I
it
was
would
going to say.
change.
Like, I'm sure you've probably sent
Phil's
some tweets
Instagram
out
would
that you
disagree with
probably
you.
would want to take down off the internet.
But you should get better, right? Like, you aren't going to keep making bad picks. You should be getting better.
It's true.
Here you are at 32.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying.
31.
Hear me out. Hear me out about the going on 32. Hear me out on the number one. It's hard to root for a guy who's number 0. I still think that's the stupidest thing.
I agree.
I think that is the stupidest thing. So he's number 0. It makes me mad. Number 2 is, what were the Vikings thinking? Like, why did they not get more aggressive for a running back in the offseason? They got rid of Dalvin Cook. Why did they try and go after someone a little bit more?
Did they even draft anybody?
I don't think.
Ty Chandler. I don't know if
I can.
it's Ty Chandler. Is who they drafted.
I don't know. I'm gonna see how much he played.
He played a decent, like probably 30% snaps. You said 12% or 12 snaps.
12%.
Interesting.
I didn't see much
He
of
played
him,
17 week 1.
and I just like.
because they like Madison.
They drafted Chandler last year.
I mean, he had a TD last week. He had a TD last week. 73% of snaps last week. So to Seth's point, but I just like, man, I don't know. It's tough. It's
Eagles
tough to
defense is good.
But also predictably,
They are.
this is a predictably bad spot for Madison.
I will
That's
agree.
exactly
with that.
Eagles have a tough D.
That's why I picked.
Run D.
That's why I picked the start. I mean, people have him as their RB2.
So one quick thought on the Eagles running back situation. We have week 1. Gainwell had the most usage by far. I think 70% snaps, all the carries. Swift did nothing. Penny was inactive. Yeah. Week 2, it flips around where Gainwell's inactive. DeAndre Swift gets all the work. Penny barely plays, and the only reason he played was because of Boston Scott. So my question is, we've seen 2 weeks in a row where the Eagles want to basically use one guy, which is a kind of a change in philosophy from them compared to last year. And I don't know if that's a switch in OCs. I don't know exactly what it is. But what happens going forward when...
What's week 3 going to look like?
What's week 3 going to look like? Does it go back to that same thing where it's like, but do we know if it's Swift or Gainwell in that role?
Yeah.
And is that what Sirianni was talking about when he made those comments? Like, is it going to be a week-to-week basis of who's in that feature running back role? Or are they going to do something more where it's more 50-50 split?
Yeah,
or
I
a
think
60-40?
they might like it too, because in film, like not knowing which running back you're going to be going up against is kind of a big deal.
Also, I think it could be about keeping guys fresh. There was people
I agree
there
with
was
that.
people who were like kind of like hypothesizing that this was planned all along from the Eagles for on a short week on 2 games in 5 days to where Gainwell would play 1 and Swift barely play, and then Gainwell would sit the next game and Swift would play. Like, I don't know how much I believe that, but like, I just don't know like what, and maybe that's what Sirianni meant is like week to week they may just alternate who the feature back is.
But if Swift continues to play that
Like
good,
Swift,
I don't think they can. I
Swift
don't
on
think they
even
can.
weeks is a start.
But
Yeah.
who says that Gainwell wouldn't have done something similar to Swift in that exact same
It's
spot?
possible Gainwell has a smash week too.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's
I mean,
possible.
It might be-
undeniably though, Swift looked amazing.
He
that
looked
game.
great.
Yeah, and I've argued that Gainwell has looked really good
Yeah.
in past times too. So, and he played a lot. His feature role game was against a lot tougher defense. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not because I got burned.
I know you're not going to like this, but Rashad Penny didn't look terrible.
yes, he did, Trent.
Yeah, he
3
did.
carries for what, 9 yards? That's just okay. You're right. He caught a
He had
pass.
something else.
He looked horrible.
I think he had a bad holding
Trent,
call.
you were not watching the game because I was watching you not watch the game.
Yeah, Jordan's judging me for not watching a game in public. If I want to watch the game, I'll stay home
Oh,
and
talk
watch
about
the
that a
game.
little bit more. I think people need to hear about this.
Jordan calls me
You
out
guys
because
were at a game.
I'm at my cousin's volleyball game. Jordan's like, Trent's not a man. He's not watching the game on his phone. It's like, yeah, because I have a kid that I'm watching and I'm watching volleyball, which I wish I could watch the game
I could do both. I can watch the game and watch. But
Were you keeping
and watch
score?
a 2-year-old.
no, well, that's not. You made that choice, not me, Trent. You made the choice.
No,
to
it's
have-
fine.
I was sitting on my couch watching the game. It was great.
Same
But-
here. Actually, I was watching
Boston
on my phone.
Scott has a
To your
concussion,
point,
See?
I was at my daughter's gymnastics class,
See?
watching gymnastics, and then also watching on my phone.
Yeah, but you have someone else watching your kids while you're at gymnastics. You just have to be there.
I just have to be present.
When
to
there's
some
a
extent.
2-year-old, you have to like make sure they're not eating Skittles off the ground.
You
or
could have
something.
easily had the phone propped up against your right there and just been watching the game. Just check the game.
I
every
was
once in a
following
while.
on ESPN, but I'm not like I socialize with people when I go out in
You're
public.
following
you know,
on
like,
Sleeper,
yeah.
you're following on
Yeah, I was
Sleeper.
following on Sleeper. Yeah,
But go ahead, continue. You socialize, you talk.
yeah, socialize. Yeah, it was a good time.
Do you have any nachos?
No nachos. I don't like to have nachos after 7:00.
Oh, was the game that late?
It starts at 6:30.
Okay, so if you're a nacho guy, you got to get there right at
Yeah, I
Gates.
think so. Yeah,
All right.
I think so.
I kind of agree with you.
Okay,
though,
let's
Jordan.
get. Can we get back to?
Yeah, let's go. So so Seth, you talked about both your sits in that game. Like you said, Madison was a good one. I think we can probably. Jordan, do you want to talk about Puka?
Well, you want to go to my sit first?
No, I'm bouncing around.
You're
here.
bouncing around.
If you
No,
want to do,
that's fine. That's fine.
If you want to host the show and you want me out here, that is a-okay. I'm
didn't-
just trying to give.
All right, go
ahead.
I'm
Go
just
to
trying
your
to give people what they want, and I'm going to be honest with you. You got to get them within the first couple of minutes, or they are going to go. Trent's nacho talk. Like I almost walked out. Like just give me if I'm going to direct this
You
pod.
asked him about the nachos.
Yeah, and his answer was super boring. Like, dude, have a better answer.
Okay. Yeah, Puka.
Don't raise your hand at me, Seth. I'll
Dude,
mute you right now.
Yeah, I think I nailed this start.
Make my day.
Okay, just talk about Puka. Here we go.
I'm
3,
trying.
2, 1.
Puka shells.
He had 20 targets, 15 catches, 147 yards. He's just a machine. Like he's a target machine.
Broke the record, right?
20 targets is insane. 35 targets through 2 games.
Yeah, he did.
So-
He did break the record for what it's worth.
Yeah, 147.
Rookie wide receiver receiving more.
Yeah,
than
record for first 2 games playing, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really happy
Cooper
with this
Kupp's in that
start.
list.
I think he's maybe going to be worth all the fab you. I do think these numbers come down a little bit when Kupp comes back, and I would imagine teams start to try to game plan for him a little bit,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
With Kupp, there will be tough if both those guys are there, right? Kupp comes back week 6, 5, potentially week 5.
And honestly, how much longer can Stafford play like this for? Eventually, Stafford, if he breaks down or what they're, but he's great right now. I think you got to keep riding the wave.
Yeah. Tutu Atwell, he had 11 fantasy points, 9 targets, 7 receptions. He doesn't look bad, 32% roster just
The
for
Rams
some
are gonna
waiver
throw
The
Wonderful.
game script was good for them. And
Yeah.
honestly, at Cincinnati next week,
Yeah.
might be kind of similar game script.
Yeah, well, Tutu has back-to-back double-digit points, too, and he's a lot lower rostered. Yeah, I had Puka on a taxi squad in a Dynasty League. I had to play him this week. It was really nice. Upset, last year's champion. But Puka, I think, is going to be – I think he's the real deal.
Yeah.
I lost some fab on him this week by $3, and that was kind of a bummer that I didn't bid up a little higher.
This is embarrassing for me not to know, but was Akers a healthy scratch?
Yeah, he's on the trade. They're going to trade him.
Okay.
They're going to
Yeah.
try to trade him.
Yeah, I didn't. I did not. I just saw
No,
his
it
tweet.
popped the report came 9:45 this morning, so 15 minutes before the game's locked.
Yeah.
And he
he's-
tweeted I don't know. Saying,
Jake
I'm asking the same-
Glazer reported it.
Sorry, he tweeted though also I don't know. I'm asking the same questions you guys. Something like that to some extent. All right. Any other talk there? I was gonna kick over to
Throw it over.
I was gonna throw it over, hand it off, whatever you'd like to say. Trent, you had Garrett Wilson as a sit, and I think I understood where your head was at.
Maybe for once.
For once, I kind of understood, and I was, you proved us wrong, a lot of us. But go ahead. He's
So what did he have? I was watching the game.
This is in our Dino League. He ended up being with 16 points. He was projected at 12. So I would say you would kind of have to fall a little
No,
bit. in the wrong.
I missed this. But he had 2 receptions and he had one
TD.
one TD that was
He had 8 targets, 83 yards, and 1 TD.
I know. I think it was 2 targets. I think he had a 68-yard touchdown man-to-man coverage. He just made a nice play. I said it was a sit. I said you probably couldn't sit him for where you drafted him. On Twitter even today, I was saying you probably have to play him. This was kind of more of a pump the brakes play, but yeah, I missed it. This was not a good. My sits were not good this week. That 2 catches, 83 yards, and that's back-to-back games with touchdowns, big touchdowns for him.
The problem with the Garrett Wilson, Trent, he's just too good to sit.
Yeah.
He's too talented. He just can make plays.
Yeah, and he what was it? He has another tough matchup next week too versus the Patriots.
I don't know.
Zach
I don't know
Wilson,
if it's tough.
Zach Wilson is getting better, I think, too.
No, he's not.
You don't think
getting better.
so?
Trent, he threw 4 picks today.
That's an improvement.
I think he looks better
There's
than the
one
last
less
time
than
I saw
5.
him. But that Cowboys defense is really good, Jordan. Do you not think it's really good?
Yes, but like I don't know how you can say Zach Wilson's
he
getting
threw
better.
3 picks today, 12 for 27.
I think he's
He's horrible, Trent.
he had five rushing attempts today for 36 yards. Like the first half, he was doing okay.
The guy would have thrown for 100 yards if it wasn't for the Garrett Wilson bomb.
Yeah, you're right.
He's bad. He's not getting better.
I think he's getting better from last year. You don't think so?
He led the Jets in rushing.
Like, am I saying start him? No, I absolutely do not start him.
I just don't know why I think he's getting better, but
For what it's worth, his 3 picks were on their final 3 drives.
So he was kind of he was
Like
he
the
trying to
game was
throw
out
it
of
up there.
the game
He was
was out of
making
hand.
risks. He was taking risks at the very end.
Do you want to
didn't
take
have
back your comment? You
But
guys
no,
wanna
it's
shake
still 3
hands?
picks though.
Yeah, it's like not fantasy relevant. Like you're definitely not playing or Zach
in a game
Wilson.
that was like semi-close, so let's not act like it was garbage time.
Was it close though?
But like when you're like 30-10, but like when you're at that point, I
So
think you
he
got to
threw-
start.
it was
you got to
like-
you got to let it ride at some point though. When nothing's
Your final
working.
3 drives, it wasn't that score, but they were down by like 3
Prob-
possessions.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
the good thing with it though is he's not afraid to throw it to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, they had targets.
Yeah. What else do we?
What is
got?
that? Is that a new watch? Is that a sponsor?
Not a
It's
sponsor.
Did you
not a
shave around your
sponsor.
wrist right there?
He
talking
probably
about?
did. It looks like it. Because Jordan's a
No.
modern man. Modern man takes care of himself. Manscaping isn't just for life's special occasions. It's a requirement for optimal health, superior hygiene, and healthy self-esteem. You now have the right tools for a safe and precise grooming like Jordan's wrist and those hard-to-navigate sensitive areas, plus post-trimming products to help keep your dudes dry. We got the Boxers 2.0 on the table. There's the Weed Whacker. There's the Lawnmower 4.0.
Those
we got
undies are
all
comfy.
that good stuff. So
Those are
go,
comfy.
go to Manscaped. Tell them the
Sack up.
dude sent you. Promo code DUDES20, 20% off your whole entire order, guys. Go check it out. Phil, nice segue right there. I was really
I teed you up.
scratching and looking for a way to say that. You know,
Yeah.
I was going to go to.
Guys, the reason the hair on his wrist is like not there is because the watch rubs right there.
I didn't even notice about the hair on his
Yeah,
wrist.
either did
thought
I.
that
I was just trying
yeah.
to tee Trent
But-
up. I
but
saw him
thank you.
grabbing that thing, and I was just trying to give him a segue.
See, I
Jordan,
knew you guys were touching thighs over there.
all right, moving on here. DJ Moore, I'm gonna go over with you, Jordan. Do you fully prepped and ready to go on that
Yeah,
one?
so DJ Moore, like kind of what happened is kind of what I thought was gonna happen is kind of what happened. Man, he had like 3 catches on the first drive for like 60 yards, and then I think like the fourth quarter had another 3 catches for like 40 more yards. So he ended up with 6 catches, 104 yards, 15 points. I'd say it's a solid.
He had a really big, almost had a really big play where he just fell out of bounds, like
Yeah.
tiptoed along.
17 and
So-
17 and a third yards per catch. Like he had some pretty
Yeah.
longer catches, huh?
So I think and it was a good matchup. The Bucks pass D is not good, and so I think that's a passing defense we want to target kind of all throughout the year. So if Justin Fields can,
plays. Sorry, that isn't.
I mean, I think the Bears are also defense
Yeah.
is also somewhere we're going to want to target. I think we're going to have a Mahomes smash week next week.
What
but-
about Justin Fields? Like, is this just? I follow some Bears Instagram pages. I don't ask me why. Like, there's just a guy I follow.
Bear down.
Yeah, Bear Down, and
Bear Grylls.
he's like been a huge Justin Fields guy. I actually not because of him. I'm not like getting my plays from stuff like that. I just follow a couple NFL accounts on our Instagram. But he came out today and he's like, I think I'm done with Justin Fields. Like I'm done watching him.
I said
And-
that
and-
last year.
And he hasn't. Have they lost 7 games in a row? Like he had a really
it's
good.
not
fantasy-
good there.
No, and it's like it was all garbage time last year. I think you got to ride it out with him. But what's his stats on the season? Like
He has 13 fantasy points, 13 fantasy points back-to-back weeks.
he just. I thought he was going to turn the corner this year.
And what I mean, he has some decent pieces around him.
Yeah, he ran for 3 yards today.
Their defense is so bad, though. They're going to be down in
Oh,
every
yeah.
single game, which does not
But that
help
could
him.
be good for fantasy though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm curious if he
It could be
surprised.
good or really bad.
Yeah,
Trent, are you just it could be a lot of picks. Trent, are you
he's
just,
not rushing as much. He had 57 yards rushing.
Last week,
Yeah,
50. Yeah.
Trent, you're a Baker guy. Are you just in hog heaven right now?
I am
Minus the
pleasantly surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised about Baker.
He's
think
also played two horrible pass defenses.
two horrible pass defenses. He's winning.
You know who's looked good is
Mike Evans looks
Mike
great.
Evans, yeah.
Mike Evans looks really
I played
good.
Tyreek Hill last week in fantasy football. I played
It's
Mike
going to
Evans
be a
this
rough
week.
week next week against the Eagles.
That will be the test right there. I think he fails that test. I mean, the Eagles' pass defense is exploitable, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mike Evans, 171 yards today, 1 TD. Like Baker's throwing him the ball. Next week's a good test. They might be kind of a surprise team for the NFC South. Maybe they can make that run right there.
I don't think it would even be a surprise. Like I think you might see them being competitors in the NFC.
Baker
South.
had 21 fantasy points this week. I believe he's quarterback 14 on the season so far.
It's going to be
I feel
them
like he'd be
and the Saints, right?
I would think it'd be them and the Saints. So he plays the Eagles this week. Then the Bucks play at New Orleans, and it's always fun to watch Mike Evans and Lattimore. Is Lattimore still there?
I think so.
Have they fought like 3 of the last 3
Yeah,
seasons?
so that'll be great. Then you throw Baker into that fight scenario. It could be a lot of fun on that Saints and Bucks game.
Yeah. Anyhow, let's move on. Let's keep this show moving along here, just for the sake of the fans. You've already given both your sits, Seth. You had Eagles running backs and Alexander Madison. Do you want to talk about Juju or Christian Kirk first?
I'll start with my good start. I'll start with Kirk. So I know last pod I said Kirk was going to have either a similar game as Ridley or a better game. He actually ended up having a lot better game than Ridley. I think Ridley had like 40 yards or something around there. And Kirk went 11 receptions on 14 targets, 110 yards. So, I mean, he was just the featured receiver. I think this game didn't play into what everyone thought it was going to be, but I think Kirk was a smash. Like I said the slot receiver in this game has done well against the Chiefs, and the slot receiver did good against the Chiefs this week. So, just a good play.
Calvin Ridley just absolutely destroyed my fantasy teams today.
Well, Calvin Ridley destroyed my fantasy teams and a lot of my my parlays. So that wasn't fun.
Underdog. It's our
sleeper.
favorite. That's my underdog, best ball drafts. That's my favorite place to do all that stuff. Go to Underdog. Promo code DUDES really helps us out. We did a draft on the show this past week. Seth won the draft, right? You won the draft that we
I
did?
honestly did not look.
Okay, so Seth did win the draft. So you can do a draft each week with your buddies or people you don't know for as little as $3. Win some cash. Go to Underdog. Tell them the dude sent you. Promo code DUDES. Match you up to $100. Go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Trevor Lawrence had a rough game.
That's what I was going to say. We just need to get like a little temp. Jordan went dark for a couple hours, and so
He's wearing Chiefs red because of the Chiefs.
That is not true.
can we just get like a little temp? I mean, how you feeling?
The Jaguars?
Just in general.
Like, not football related.
Fine.
No, football related. What did you think about today's game? We had a listener, friend of the pod, relative to some of you guys. He checked in on your well-being, and I was part of that group chat. And
Jaguars should have won the game. They blew multiple opportunities in the red zone. So I don't know. They just they forced turnovers in the first half and didn't convert. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
That right tackle, he's the most penalized player, or had more penalties today than any player had in NFL history. 5 penalties in the game.
Oh, Jawan Taylor?
Yeah. They're saying they think, just some stuff I've seen, they're saying that maybe a problem. I don't know. But I think he had 2 offsides and maybe 2 holdings and something else or something. Like he just had but it's kind of weird.
Well, he's also, he's playing his team.
His old team. Yeah. And then maybe Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen, right? Maybe he kind of knew his weaknesses and exploited it. And yeah.
And they have the next couple of weeks, the next 2 weeks will be kind of light, right? They got the Texans and then the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons game could be a good one, but then they got Bills. So you're probably looking at hopefully going 2-0 in the next couple of weeks here.
Yeah, I mean, Jaguars really could have won this game. They had at the end of the game, they had real close to 2 touchdowns. Zay Jones didn't get his feet in. Calvin really didn't get his feet in, and Trevor Lawrence missed a wide open Zay Jones in the end zone. So.
Yeah, that's
it was. I know all the players and coaches were pretty upset about the game. So,
yep, let's see him bounce back next week. Jordan, I'm going to come back to you here. You're already kind of chatting here. You want to talk about? I
Just
think
keep kicking them while he's down, Phil. How about that?
I can skip. We can
No,
come back to
let's
this one.
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I'm disappointed because I followed your advice just for what it's worth, and I just got annihilated because of it. But I'm gonna let you annihilated by my feelings more.
Honestly,
than
like
else.
it was looking good for a while. Like even the first touchdown wasn't great. It was really annoying because Waddle almost broke a 50-yard touchdown. He tripped over his own feet. And then Mostert comes in and scores a touchdown. But really, even then at half, he was like 30 yards and a touchdown or whatever, 35 and a touchdown. But then he just broke off that 40-yard run for a touchdown. It was downhill from there. I was sitting okay in showdown too, and I had zero Mostert.
121 yards, 18 attempts, 2 TDs. Like
It also hurt that Ahmed got hurt in the middle of that game.
Salvin.
So yeah, he was
Salvin.
getting a lot of work in the first half too.
Yeah.
he played at UW.
So,
just as a heads up.
yeah, I don't know. It's just a tough. I felt really good about that sit too.
I did
so,
not know Mostert is 31. He's one of the older running backs in the league.
Yeah,
Still blazing
man,
fast.
the game went the opposite of how I thought it was going to go. I thought they would kind of stop the run and Tua would have to throw, and didn't really work out like that.
Yep. All right. Let's. I'm gonna go Trent. I think we're gonna go with. Let's go with. I'm gonna go with another one of your sits because then we're gonna go with another of your starts. Let's go with. Let's go with Terry McLaurin. Before we start, can I say? Did you guys see that hit on Logan Thomas?
I did not see it. I heard it was the guy got ejected, right?
He got ejected. I think he may be facing disciplinary action because he had another hit
He got fined bad last week.
But the hit this week didn't look terrible.
Yeah, but I think it was pretty dirty.
He
I
just
can
went
find it.
shoulder to head, I think. Anyhow, I just was like, man, I feel like that's just kind of
That's
football.
a pretty nasty hit, man.
But I felt like it was more.
and they got in a fight after it. Too.
Yeah, the fight. I did see the fight.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's a nasty hit.
But it doesn't it look shoulder then head? I
Oh,
don't-
it's definitely
here, let me see. Let me
helmet to
see.
helmet.
Can you pop that over here?
Kareem Jackson.
That's just football, man.
It's helmet to helmet, but it's the
So-
kind of football I like watching.
Yeah, if you're getting paid millions of dollars to play for a yearly basis, like, hey, I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
I miss the old early 2000s
Well, here's
football.
the issue, Phil, is that they know that's a flag. They know that possible. Like,
yes, I get what you're saying. Like, he just shouldn't have. Like, this is the rules we have to play by now. You
yes,
don't
like,
do it. Yeah, no, I
yeah,
agree. I
like-
agree with
And
that
he
too.
just got fined last week.
Yeah, no, you got to be smarter. I agree with that.
And
so,
the hit last week was bad too on Jacoby Myers.
yeah, I didn't see that one, but yeah, this is. I mean, it probably
he
wasn't as
literally
bad as
knocked-
the hit on
he
Hunter
knocked
this
Myers
weekend. Did you
out
see that
cold.
one?
On Travis Hunter?
Yeah, Travis Hunter. Yeah, did you see that? That one was worse to me because it was blatant. This one is just like he was trying to knock the ball out. Do you get what I'm saying?
I actually disagree with that take wholeheartedly.
You think this one's worse?
Yes.
This is actually a football play, whereas that DB from Colorado State, the ball had already gone past him and he still hit him.
yeah, but like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to Travis Hunter there? He broke his rib. Like,
And what's the worst that happened to Logan Thomas? He got up and walked off the field.
Yeah, but-
Hunter
Play
left
next
the
week.
game.
But he
Hunter
could've-
had left the game and may not be
I
playing.
think the
But the
Hunter
next
one-
couple of
it
Hunter-
could have been worse. Like,
The-
the helmet to helmet is way worse.
Yeah, the
like,
Hunter one was bad too because both teams were
Like-
headhunting that
like
whole
the-
game.
Oh, it was
was
way
terrible.
It's
It was
3 against
honestly-
1, Jordan.
It was
You
such a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it
The
was so
Colorado State game was so fun to watch. But there was so much headhunting that game, it was making me sick. I'm like, these guys are so immature and they can't just play a freaking football game.
well,
Yeah.
look at their coaches.
No,
Seth.
I know, and it's sad. It really is sad. I'm like, how does one player legit have 5 personal foul penalties in one game? I'm like, you are an idiot.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Well, no,
That's what
the
you are.
worst was they were lighting up the quarterback in
Shedeur?
overtime. Oh, yeah.
Well, and Shadou Sanders poking a guy in the eyes. Did you not see that?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
He's
no.
talking to him and he pokes him in the eyes. I'm like, dude, this game is out of
The
control.
best thing that happened in college football was when I'll just save this for my diva of the week. I'll save it. I'll save it. We got
Okay.
divas of the week.
Are you talking about the kicker?
No.
Can I talk about the kicker?
What kicker?
31 years old and 3 kids kicking for Colorado State. Where do you go from there?
Is that your dream, Phil?
I don't know. I don't think if I was to walk on, I think I'd have to be get really good at pickleball or something like that. Like I'm not kicking. I'm definitely not a kicker.
That's called intramural.
All right, we're moving on here. Trent, talk about
Men's
Terry
league.
McLaurin.
I actually felt pretty good about Terry.
Seniors.
I felt pretty good about Terry McLaurin. He had a really nice touchdown catch, and he had targets. Like at half, what was it, 3-20? It was 3-20 at one point. I was like, that was when I was kind of like, okay, he's gonna get the volume. They're gonna start throwing the ball. Really good game, maybe one of the best games of the day. But yeah, this was a miss by me. Terry McLaurin had a nice touchdown. He had
Trent, he had 54 yards and the TD.
Yeah.
I really saved him, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
guess he had 5 receptions.
I believe
but
he
like,
had
he had 5 receptions.
at
No,
half.
Trent, you're screaming. You're right. If he doesn't catch a touchdown, and that touchdown was a big yardage touchdown.
First half, he had
that's-
first half he had 5 catches for 50 yards.
he scrambled.
He finished
got a
the-
touchdown, and that's
oh
what
no, he
saved him.
didn't. That wasn't the first half. Sorry. Yeah,
Got saved by. A
he had
touchdown,
5
big
catches,
play.
54 yards, and a really nice touchdown catch. So
Trent, you just got burned by big plays this week.
yeah, and yeah, like volume wise, I did pretty good. Between my 2 sits, there was 7 catches.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
that's
between
totally
both guys,
fine. Yeah.
big plays. But
You probably feel pretty good about one of your starts, though. Let's talk about
Yeah.
James Cook. Can we talk about that?
we
or
can
do
talk
you-
about that. But
or
this
did you
game
say
was
some more?
this
Okay.
game was great. Phil Russ had
Sure.
the big Hail Mary at the end.
Let Russ cook. I saw you texted that to the group. For talking all that trash, Sean Payton is 0-2.
He's 0-2. Yeah.
They're not good.
They suck.
Yeah, but why would you come into the season just chirping away, other coaches? Like he had some videos. Like it's just like he's 0-2. I don't know. This could be an Urban Meyer rewind with Sean Payton coming back. Like it could end
I
up.
don't know if I
being
go
bad.
that far, but
I don't know, dude. There was a let's continue on.
Yeah,
James Cook.
There's another video. Yeah, James Cook. I felt really good about this play. He 100 yards rushing. Looked like they finally really got him involved. The only problem with James Cook is Latavius Murray got the red zone carry. Like that's a bummer, but I think that's also kind of what we expected.
and Damian Harris had a touchdown.
they both
too.
have touchdowns. So yeah, Cook had 17 attempts, 123 yards. It would be really nice if he had a touchdown.
It was the perfect game script for Cook.
Well, and then Josh Allen, I think, had like 2-yard touchdown passes a day. Like Dawson Knox caught like a 5-yard TD, and then I think Shaheed did he have a
Shaheed.
what's his-
Shakir.
Shakir.
And then Gabe Davis had a short one too.
Yeah.
Shakira,
So they were
Shakira.
just running down there as
But
yeah, felt really good about this one.
yeah, no, it was a good one. And you're gonna talk any trash to Raider Nation? I know you like chirping every once in a
No,
while.
I'm not going to talk trash Raider Nation. They're people too, Phil, and they listen to the pod. So yeah,
I wasn't going to, but I know you from
well,
time to
you
time
used to
you'll
be
throw
you used to be a
shots.
Raider fan, Phil. So
Yeah,
I
so
don't
I
know.
can't. But you sometimes you'll just
Jordan's
say,
the Raider hater. Like I don't know
do you
why.
have anything?
but-
They won a big game. Jimmy G was getting all amped up after they beat the Broncos by a point, and then they come in and just get annihilated by the
Yeah,
Bills.
because they suck.
Okay,
And
That's
so
what
do
I
the
was looking for.
Broncos.
all right. All right.
Soundbite.
And so do the Chargers.
Chargers.
That whole division sucks outside of the Chiefs.
How do you feel about the Seahawks? We didn't get to talk about them at all today, Seth, which is a little bit of a bummer because they ended up winning it, baby. Let's go.
That was a
And,
comeback.
And man, Tyler Lockett, man, just give me some knuckle across the table there. There we go.
So old,
Lockett
but
looks
so
good.
good.
Lockett
yeah, he
looks so
looks.
good.
He's feisty. All right, let's close it out with your Michael Pittman. I think we've covered everyone, right?
Yeah, well, my last sit plays tomorrow night.
Yes.
Dude,
And
Jackson
I have a
Smith
sit.
and
you have
Jigba.
I have another sit.
Jackson Smith and Jigba
mean
look so
start,
good today,
right?
guys. He looks so good.
Are you trying to be funny?
Oh, it's almost like you actually need reps during preseason to start the season out good.
I thought. Oh yeah. I mean, sure.
Okay, keep going on. Sorry.
This is so. If you're
Trent
listening,
tried to joke
if
and
you're
it
listening,
didn't
if
go,
you're listening
like-
to the pod for the first time, we had a heated debate about 3 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago actually, where Trent said JSN was going to be slow to start,
So I made him
Jordan,
a
I
dud
think
and
Seth-
said I'd probably pick him up off waivers in a couple
and then
weeks. so I
Jordan
said-
Seth said he was going to be totally fine, and then Trent.
I did
thinks
blame.
he's-
Have fun picking him off waivers, Trent, when he's owned by every single person in the league.
Yeah, if he keeps going for 5
Trent,
points, he
has-
won't be owned
he
by
has
everyone in the league.
11 targets in 2 games. Like,
That's not bad.
it's not bad at all.
And the first game was terrible.
I actually thought DK got hurt, and I was like, oh, JSN probably
That's
going
what
to
I
go off.
thought too. Yeah.
So you thought you were going to have to eat your words.
I thought I was. It'll probably happen, but it's okay.
And game 1, they were absolutely.
That is bad.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I mean, they
Geno
were.
Smith came back to life today, and I think that's good.
He also got owned by the referee.
Yeah. My Pittman start.
Did
Do you
you
want me
see
to go with
that?
that?
When he's like,
I'm talking to America right now.
Yeah, Gino's like trying to tell him something because he called the grounding and it wasn't grounding, but Gino's like trying to get into his face, and the referee's like, "Sir," I was like, "Sir, I'm talking to America right now." You didn't see that?
I did, but I didn't know it was Gino talking to him.
Yes, I believe
Trent.
it was. Wasn't it Gino who was saying it,
It
to?
was Gino, yeah.
Who do you think led the Seahawks in targets?
I'm just looking at fantasy points, but
I don't care about fantasy points.
Well, if you played him on your, maybe you're in a league that gets points for targets.
but
So
Trent,
you're right.
DK also had
You
6.
can't just
DK
be-
had 6 targets too.
You can't be.
Oh, so he tied for targets.
yes, he
Okay.
had more. No, he was finished tied for.
No,
second
sorry,
on-
Lockett had 10.
Okay.
Okay, so who led him in targets?
So it's Lockett. They all had 6, 6, and 10. But Trent, you can't just be results oriented with every little thing.
Hold on, I think their tight end actually had more targets too. Actually,
No, they're tied into not.
their
their
tight
tight
end had a good
ends
game.
had a
Their tight-
couple-
yeah,
had a
maybe
couple
not
good
one,
targets.
Yeah.
I just think you just can't be results oriented and just say, "Oh, he had 5 catches for 34 yards."
You're right. That's a really good game. My bad.
Better than Jamar Chase.
It was better than Jamar Chase, dude. Jamar Chase is he's
Probably
so
better than
frustrating.
Michael Pittman. It was Michael.
No,
No,
Michael
Pittman.
Michael
had a game.
Pittman had a decent game.
when things
too.
get too heated, what we have to do is shake hands. So
Yeah.
Jordan, Trent,
No,
please
I'm not
shake
shaking
hands.
his hand.
Shake
He had a,
hands.
he had a
shake
better
hands.
game than
shake-
Calvin Ridley.
Yes, shake
Yeah.
hands so we can move on.
No,
Jordan,
move on.
put your
Let's
hand
go.
across
Trent,
the table.
Let's go.
Michael Pittman, he had 9 fantasy points. I think this is a miss. So I'm going to say I went 1 for
Richardson getting
1 for
hurt.
4 on
He
the
had
week.
12 targets though.
Yeah.
12
Yeah,
targets.
Trent.
No, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Hey, but he's
Michael
had
Pittman-
double-digit targets in both games.
Michael Pittman's a lot better playing PPR.
Yes.
That stat line looks fairly good in PPR.
Yeah. And I think if Richardson doesn't get hurt, maybe he has a better game. Richardson actually,
Gardner's probably a better pass thrower of the football. than-
Minshew.
Yeah, but the thing is, I
he
think the-
missed him. Pittman was wide open on a fade, and he just missed him.
I did not watch that game.
I
Is
also
Richardson
think-
go out completely?
Yeah,
Oh,
concussion.
Minshew's a guy, huh? He's going to
Well,
be
the
starting
thing
next
is, like,
week. Let's go.
They're
I did
not
not know
throwing the
that.
ball very deep with Richardson, and Pittman is really good at running those like short routes, and I think that's what helped him with Richardson.
Yeah.
Is he's getting all those short routes in like the middle of the field.
4, 5, less than 5 yards per target.
Yeah. Richardson is QB6 on the season.
That makes sense.
I don't think it's going. You're saying it's not going to change with Minshew, though. I don't think he's going to be throwing deep downfield.
I think he can more.
You think he will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richardson, we don't know if he's going to play next week or not. With
I don't
these
think
new-
he can, right?
I don't know,
possible.
these new concussion. So he went.
like
he went.
Steve,
He
like,
had 6 completions and 17 points. So he had 56 yards rushing, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns today. I didn't realize he had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, one person to talk about maybe is getting Zach Moss this week. if
Zach
you don't
Moss.
have him.
Yeah.
He had a rushing touchdown. I mean, and if he doesn't play next week, we all know Gardner Minshew's not going to run like Richardson. So Moss
Pittman,
might be a good pickup.
Pittman didn't kill you. He didn't help win you. He probably didn't win you your week either, though. But he probably was your receiver 2 that you drafted, or 3.
Yeah, so he's got a chance. It's not a short week. They're definitely not playing on Thursday night, so there's a chance that he plays. It's like a 7-day window there, or 6, whatever you want to call it. All right, moving on here. I think that we had Seth. You have one more start, right?
Yeah, so my start was Juju. This one was just a flat out miss. I mean, he had 6 targets. 5 receptions for 28 yards. I don't think any receiver on the team, if I'm looking at it right, Devontae Parker, he had 6 for 57. The Patriots didn't look that good. And then Trent said also after we had talked already, someone posted on Twitter that they thought he was like the 5th best receiver on the team or something like that.
Well, Seth,
you
the
see
other
that?
problem was that Devontae Parker was supposed to miss the game.
Devontae Parker did play. Yeah, you're right. And then he led the team in receiving.
Did you
Yeah.
see that tweet? It was like Ari or whatever. Someone said like the
or
rumors coming out of Patriots, camp was Juju's the 5th best receiver on the team, but he's the highest paid.
Well, he also can't move. Like they're saying that he has a really bad knee problems,
Well,
or is it knee or back or something.
They said it was a knee, but what I read before was he's saying he feels his knees at 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that most people who listen to the pod and play fantasy football probably saw that stuff and hopefully didn't play him after they saw that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Well,
So,
I think it
I'll
was
take
more.
the L on it.
Forget
but-
about the whatever tweet that was. I think it's more about Devontae Parker came back.
Mm-hmm. So
more than anything else.
Devontae Parker only had 8 fantasy points.
Yeah, but targets wise and just role in the offense and routes run.
Yeah, I
and
guess 8 to
snaps
6. Yeah.
I think he was in there. He played the whole game, I think.
Phil,
Devontae
is that
Parker.
all our starts and sits?
No, we had we talked about Miles Sanders.
Miles
already.
Sanders plays tomorrow.
So what do we go on the week here? So
Didn't we touch on him a little bit?
I went
you
2 for
mentioned he's
4.
playing tomorrow, so we're good.
I'm going to say I went 1 for 4.
Yeah, I say 2 for me. 2 for 4.
Jordan, you went
2 for 3.
2 for 3.
3.
Nice. So that's good.
And you may go.
I may go-
You
you
may,
may, yeah.
run it.
May go 3 and 1.
Run
May
it
run
back
the
in the
table.
doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raheem had he had that big run, right?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that?
We talked
Yeah.
about
Okay.
Mostert. Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely did.
All
All
right.
right. Do you want to get into divas? Where are we going here?
No,
Do you
I
wanna
just
do waiver?
what is your Jordan kind of brought this up last week. What's kind of been your biggest surprise week 2 weeks into the NFL season?
This is harder for week 2.
Mine would be Falcons are 2-0.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd beat the Packers.
Bijan
I
looks
was
the real deal.
Bijan looks like the real deal.
Mustache power.
That split actually felt like it was a little bit different.
You know
They're
what I'm talking
saying-
about? Like
yeah.
Arthur Smith's
60-40 this
mustache.
They're saying that Bijan's probably going to lead the NFL in missed tackles, like forcing missed tackles.
Oh, he had a nasty one
Yeah,
today.
like
where the guy just
19 attempts, 124 rushing yards. I don't know what
it doesn't.
What's his
have
name?
snap
Algier
advantage
at
yet, right?
16, so I mean it wasn't that far behind.
yeah. I
many
just
yards
think
did
What's his
Algier have?
receiving? What's the receiving on that? Oh, he only had 5.
Algier had no targets receiving though, and Bijan
Bijan
How
had
many
had
yards did
5.
Algier have?
Bijan had 4 catches. Oh, Algier
48.
season.
48.
Yeah, no touchdowns. Bijan had no touchdowns either.
6.53 yards per carry, 19 carries, 125 yards. Get after it.
Yeah. So Bijan,
No TD though. A little
Yeah.
frustrating.
Bijan looks good.
Ritter ran one in.
Ritter, yeah, and that was a comeback win. Were they down by 10?
Yeah.
That was a comeback win, and Ritter was just chucking up YOLO balls to Mac Hollins, the one guy I didn't think he would chuck YOLO balls up to. I thought Mac Hollins had a touchdown catch in that game. I don't know how you overturn that.
They got called incomplete on the field or got called a touchdown on the field.
I think it got called. I wasn't watching that with the sound
Whatever
on
got-
my four screen. Yeah,
I think it
so
got
that
called
makes sense.
incomplete.
And
Yeah.
that's what's tough is it has to have conclusive evidence.
But
to
it looked
turn
like his heels clearly touched after he caught the ball. So I was surprised he didn't get that. But yeah, I think Falcons are one of the biggest surprises. I kind of have been beating the Falcons drum all offseason. I didn't think they'd win today though. And I'd say Jordan Love's a decent surprise, right? Did he have a okay?
He kind of sucked. He had
He's
3
just getting-
touchdowns, but
He's getting touchdowns, but he's not getting the yards. So he had 20 fantasy points today, Jordan. So it's not bad. He's-
Jonnu Smith had more receptions and yards than Kyle Pitts.
yeah, Kyle Pitts sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I stopped your train there. Go ahead and talk a little bit more about Jordan Love.
He's QB5 on the season so far. And
So what's your
Bakersfield guy.
surprise? The Falcons 2-0?
I'd say Falcons being 2-0 would be a surprise, and the Bengals being 0-2.
It's not as surprising to me, honestly. They usually start slow anyways.
And
2 divisional games
they're
back
saying,
to back.
You see, Burrow was saying his calf hurts.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Hope so.
We don't think he'll be fine.
I hope he gets fine soon.
I mean, he's not going to miss games. I should
Yeah,
say that.
like I don't think if you drafted Joe Burrow, you'd say he's fine right now. Like what he
He's
had.
killing me in
he-
some
he-
stuff. Jamar Chase especially.
He had 17 points today, which was doable.
Burrow didn't kill you today.
No, he didn't. Last week he did. You just need those calf injuries. They just don't go away unless you don't do anything. And the fact that it's re-aggravated, it concerns me.
And it's not even a bye week scenario. Like you have to
Yeah.
not do something.
Yeah,
for a
no
long
bye week
time.
till week 7.
Yeah, you're not.
And now you're 0-2. They would have been better off, like what Chase said, sitting out the first 4 games and maybe go 1-3 than 0-2, and he re-aggravates it. But
which sounds like he did.
yeah, so I think he's going to play, but just it's a long season to have that. Other surprises, kind of. I think you could say Puka, Jordan.
Yeah.
You don't think that's a big surprise?
But what about the?
I had him as my start, so I would be surprised.
Well, I'm just saying, like, for the whole season. I don't know.
Well, are we talking week 2 or the whole season? Like it's kind of like
Hey, this is just your question that I'm
no.
using
I'm
from
I'm,
last
clar-
week.
I'm clarifying though. Train, you clarify. Is it week 2 or? I'll say the most surprising thing today for me was how much the Cardinals are actually trying to lose. Like
Do you think they like?
Was it
'cause
21-0?
it was 28 to like 7 or whatever. Like I mean, I was really happy because I had the Giants in Survivor, and so I have all my Survivor teams through 2 weeks. But
So you think they're just throwing?
it
This
was
at the end?
28 to 7 at one point. I don't think so, but man, like that was a crazy game. The Giants scored 24 points in the last 18 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Really salvaged my Daniel Jones quarterback, though.
Yeah, it was just
They did not look good at first.
the Cardinals do not want to win. I'm pretty confident in that. Also, I think the most surprising game for me today was the Lions Seahawks game. I'm shocked that they beat the Seahawks beat the Lions on the road.
What? Yes.
That one was shocking to me.
You see the Seahawks guys wearing masks in the game after the game.
The locker room.
Getting fired up.
Like that was crazy.
I'm trying to find who Daniel Jones on the week. Daniel Jones was QB1 this week, tied
It
with
makes
Kirk
sense.
Cousins.
That's what I was looking. And what does it look like? Just the last 2 games. What does that look like?
Do you want to guess who QB3 was this week, Jordan?
Baker.
Russell Wilson. Maybe this is just because the league I'm in might have some bonus points or something, but he had 56 rushing yards, and he threw for
He got that bonus in the
308.
last.
Yeah, 308 rushing.
Oh, he got the 40+ bonus.
Okay, so yeah, maybe that's just to our
300
league.
yard
Yeah, that
bonus.
could just be to the league we're in. That put him there. I don't know, Seth. Anything that's surprising you?
I was going to say Puka, but I mean, I guess, I don't know. Maybe the amount, like, there's a ton of injuries this year, but maybe, again, I'm just thinking about it. But there's injuries every year, but maybe I'm just thinking there's more than this year than there was at the beginning of last year. I think there was a lot of, like, maybe higher profile guys being injured, like, starting the season than maybe last year. I think there are more injuries in preseason or stuff like that.
So
Jordan Love's not surprising. Did you guys say that? How well he's taking
Do
care
you
of the
listen
ball?
to anything?
We did talk about that.
My apologies. I was doing some research on something entirely different.
What's your most surprising thing, Phil?
I was going to say Jordan Love because I wasn't listening to you guys.
I kind of threw him in as an honorable mention, but yeah,
He's got 3
seriously,
TDs, no interceptions. I think that's I did not expect him to.
He also tripped over himself trying to snap the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you
You
do
see
that
Tua
walk into high
did you
school.
see Tua
The surprise
you probably
was
seen me. You saw me running. Did I trip?
No.
What about the Patriots lateral tonight to the lineman
That
for
was
the first
good.
down? That was pretty good.
I think the most surprising thing for me over the weekend was the Colorado State game, and that's not even NFL related, but that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean that game was whatever.
Do you want to get into divas?
No. We got one more question, Trent.
Okay.
Don't forget.
Yes.
But also, I think honestly the most surprising thing for me was the dichotomy of the scoring between week 1 and week 2.
How it went up.
Oh, it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
every game I think went over the total except for the Jaguars Chiefs.
It takes about 4 weeks, they say, for the offense to get clicking.
But I mean, we went from like horrible games. So like I don't know if the Buffalo Vegas went over that total, but I think Philadelphia, Minnesota did, Baltimore, Cincy did, Chargers, Tennessee did, Green Bay, Atlanta. I think every game went over the total. Even the Jets Dallas game, that total was in the 30s. Oh, so the Miami New England game, Jaguars Chiefs game, only 2 games. And the Jaguars Chiefs game was like the one game I think everyone thought would go over the total,
Yeah.
and it didn't.
Yeah.
What about the utilization of the tight end? Is that surprising you?
Like that it's more? Or
I think it's more.
Really?
I truthfully think it's more. Like how many tight ends are getting, how much they're spreading it around to different tight ends.
A lot of
but
tight ends are catching touchdowns this year.
That's what there's
Yeah.
there's a lot
There's
of
a lot of
tight end play.
touchdowns.
Yes.
Yeah.
like
See, I surprised you,
You did
right
surprise
now.
me, right? Yeah.
Hunter Henry was tight end 2 on the week at the list I'm looking at.
Hawkinson was 25.
Yeah, Hawkinson had a
There's a
Sorry,
lot
it
of
was
tight end
number one.
touchdowns this week at least.
Yeah.
But
Ferguson, Knox,
Yeah, Hawkinson had 2, Henry had 1, Andrews 1,
Shoemaker.
Kelsey 1, Logan Thomas 1, Kylan Granson 1,
Like Waller, no TD, but
Ferguson,
76 yards.
Knox, Schoonmaker. Man, the Cowboys are two tight end touchdowns.
Yeah, Dak just loves tight ends.
Okay, Trent, who was the most hurtful for you today?
Most hurtful. I forgot about this one. Just looking at my team.
It could be anything. It could be your wallet, your teams.
Yeah.
Who killed? Like who hurt you today?
Let me check my teams out.
Should we go
here.
back? Should we go
I
back?
would
Probably
say
has a
I would
list.
say Trevor Lawrence probably hurt my team, or Ridley. Those were the guys that hurt me the most.
Probably not as much as they hurt me, but yeah.
Javonte Williams.
Really?
He just 12 carries, 44 yards versus Washington. I thought he'd have a little better game than that, especially with how they got the lead. Let me see who else I got in here.
It's supposed to be one guy, Trent, not 5 guys.
Yeah, then I would say Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to lose a matchup because of Trevor Lawrence, I would say. In a league I care about.
Mine was 100% Calvin Ridley, but like I know it's also probably Seth. So, but yeah,
that's fine.
he killed me. I had him in almost every one of my main teams for DFS, so it was not fun. Yeah, most of that whole game, honestly, that whole game was the most hurtful, just because I had a ton of it in all my lineups. So it was.
I got to remember this question so I can prep myself better too.
It's always easier for me just because I think I probably like. There's always guys that yeah. But
I thought you were going to say Patrick Mahomes.
The whole game, honestly, it was literally the whole entire game because I had so much of that game in DFS and it just busted and it sucks. So
Can I say mine?
honestly,
And I
like,
probably should
yeah,
have done this.
Go, yeah.
Dalvin Cook, I started and I sat Mostert. Dalvin Cook had
thing is, if you
negative
would-
1 point, and I honestly
you
was
would've-
like, I should have started Mostert.
If you would have asked me who to start, I would have said Mostert.
No, I know. It was
Yeah.
the wrong decision
Yeah.
to make, and I did it in haste, and it makes me so mad. It's
In haste.
it's one of those most frustrating situations. Like that, I swapped him too. Like it's not something that was set. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it's a mistake. All right.
Seth, most hurtful. Was it also Ridley for you?
Yeah, I would have made quite a bit of money today if Ridley hit the line. So I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
All right.
Ridley was man. He was hurtful today.
I wish you could play the Johnny Cash introing that segment. Oh, actually, sorry. It's not. I think it's a 9 Inch Nails song that Johnny Cash covered. It's a little bit better. You ever heard that song? I hurt myself today.
Oh, it's a great song.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's a,
Focus on the pain.
yeah,
It's the last song he ever did, right?
I think it's actually Johnny Cash is covering a 9 Inch
Yeah.
Nails song.
And I don't think he let his wife listen to it till after he passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Johnny Cash song. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Divas. Are we doing divas? You still
We
got
can
something else
we
you
can
gotta
do some divas here. I'm just trying to see if other people got hurt by similar. Like you talked about good tight end games. George Kittle, 3 catches, 30 yards. So we named a bunch of guys that had way better games than George Kittle. Yeah, we can move over to divas. I have a diva.
Hit it.
Let's hear it.
Okay, my diva of the week is quarterbacks that when they kneel, they run around, then kneel. I
Like
feel
when
like
they're running out time?
I feel like you should have to kneel right when you get it, not like run backwards or left and right. Like the Florida quarterback this week. He ran around and he didn't go backwards. He like rolled out, then kneeled. Like I think you're kind of putting yourself out there as a ball carrier, and then you're going to kneel, and it caused a huge fight.
Yeah.
He got popped right after he kneeled. Did you see it, Jordan?
I didn't see that.
Florida quarterback.
Was that
kneeled.
the end of the game?
End of the
Florida
game.
man.
Huge.
I was mad. I had Tennessee in a parlay and they lost. I turned that game off.
Huge like fight after because he got hit. It wasn't
Scrap City.
It
No,
wasn't
guys
like,
squared up.
Yeah, after that lineman, they're like about to square
And
up.
it's like a DB and a lineman, like
Yeah.
just basically putting their feet in the dirt and like
Which I don't blame him. The guy did kind of pop the quarterback, but I'm also like, hey, big game. You had the upset. Like, just kneel. Like, don't roll out right, then take a knee.
Well, you know why some of that thing is, right? Because they need to get the timing right.
Yeah.
So they don't have to kneel again.
Yeah, I think that you should just have to kneel, though, or expect
Run
to get
backwards.
popped. Yeah. I don't know. I think the kneel is... I think if you take a step, you're live game. I don't think you should be able to run around then kneel, but...
Yeah, or
maybe
and
slide,
if you
I
do,
don't know.
if you do, don't get all chippy when you get up. Like, and it wasn't like he tackled him; he bumped him. It wasn't like it wasn't.
Are
a
you
tackle.
watching it, Jordan?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
watching.
so it was a good fight. So mine's just quarterbacks that don't just properly kneel. That's what I'm saying. Does anyone else have a diva
Fair.
this week?
I kind of have. It's not very good though, so I won't even.
No, say it.
Just
Let's
say
hear
it,
it.
yeah.
I don't know how applicable it is to normal people, but like, I was at
Shocker.
I was at. I was at.
I was just messing around.
I went to like a fall basketball tournament yesterday, and I was just watching. We weren't playing, and it's they go side courts in the gyms, and so there's not really stands, right? And so
Yeah.
everyone's kind of sitting like weird. And so I was sitting along the baseline, like there's the basket and against the wall, and so there's not a lot of room there, right? And they're inbounding right there, and like just people's impatience. Like I guess people who are impatient is like my diva. Like people were walking, like the guy's inbounding. I'm sitting. People are trying to walk like right behind them as they're inbounding instead of just wait like 30 seconds.
Like
And
they're
the ball-
interrupting the game.
They're like trying to walk while the ref's trying to give the ball to the player to inbound. It's like, people, just wait 30 seconds until the ball's on
Less
the
than
other
that,
side.
probably.
Probably less than that until the ball's on the other side of the court.
Yeah.
Instead of making the ref wait for you to walk by. Like we get it. It's packed in here. Just wait a little bit. But like people's impatience, I think, is like,
People's impatience, and also those are the same people that when you're taking a family photo or something, they walk right in front of the photo.
yes, it's like
and
that.
you're just
It's
like, hey, like,
That's such an amateur move. Go in the back and photobomb. Honestly, that's
I
the
agree with
biggest
that
thing.
too.
That's the biggest thing that the
Whoa,
digital cameras ruined the photobomb game. Absolutely killed it.
no,
like
but
it's terrible.
Like, yeah, just like, hey, take a second and just pause. Like, I can almost guarantee if you're in the exact same place I am, you are not as important.
You know how many pictures I am in at Disneyland, like pre-digital camera era of just straight up photobombing stuff?
You mean like the disposables?
I'm in the background of so many pictures.
Just probably every, like, just
yeah, just
normal.
anybody.
I'm in so many pictures, like just of people I don't know. Seth, what do you got?
I don't have anything.
Seth, come on.
I don't
Seth
have
keeps
anything.
playing footsies with me. Watch your feet there, Seth.
You have anything, Phil?
I'm trying to think. He did it again. I think it's not a diva because this is like I'm just ridiculous for going to sleep early. But these late college football games,
Pac-12 After Dark is terrible.
I don't mind. I'm usually up that late on a Saturday night anyways, doing NFL research. So
what time do you draw the line? Because it was like halftime and it was like 9:15 for the Colorado State game.
I mean, I'm not going to bed
It's
till 11:30 midnight on a
It's
Saturday
cool,
night.
but like
so.
it's part of the reason Christian McCaffrey didn't get the Heisman.
Yeah,
Voters don't stay up to watch those games. Same
No,
reason
I
Toby
mean,
Gerhart didn't get the
I bet they
Heisman.
did last night. I bet everyone stayed up to watch that Colorado game last night.
I went to sleep
I don't know if
when
they
it was
watched the second half. Like if you're a
17-27.
Heisman voter, you're probably like, I'm just gonna go to bed.
I think you're underestimating the Dion factor.
I went to bed when it was
For once.
17-27, and I was embarrassed to wake up to find out that they won. Like, I had watched the majority of the game.
What
and
time you go to sleep?
It was 10:15 when I went to
You
sleep.
didn't just stay up for the rest of the game?
I bet you he's not alone. Like that game, you do that game at 12 o'clock on Saturday, its numbers are even bigger.
Or 5.
Yeah. No, the Pac-12 After Dark thing was not a good move. And I saw a bunch of tweets too. Like everybody thought it was cool bringing the Pac-12 into the Big Ten until they realized how late these games go because they just don't do that over there. Like,
Well, I know. Trent, most Pac-12 games are at 7 o'clock at night, Pacific time.
which is 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
10,
No, it's
actually.
10 o'clock.
Oh,
but
10, okay.
Yeah, but they
7
play
plus
games
3.
at 7 o'clock on the East Coast. It's not like they don't play at the same time. It's just different time
but
zones.
Not really, though.
Not as much.
Like, name one recently.
Every single 5 o'clock game is at 8 o'clock over there. So
Okay,
that- so
8
that-
and
Yeah,
10
but,
is
it's
a
not,
lot
but it's
different.
not a set. Yeah, that's drastically different,
No,
Jordan.
the Florida Tennessee game started at 4:00 Pacific time.
7 o'clock.
At 7:00 over there.
No,
Okay.
but
The Colorado State game started at 7:00 Pacific time.
10 o'clock over there.
Yeah, but it's still 7, 8 o'clock in your region where the
Okay,
game is
let me just say
happening.
this. The game ended at close to around 11:30 last night, or whatever night it was last night. Close to 11:30. Okay, that means it was 2:30 a.m. if you're living in.
We're
Florida.
talking
I
about
understand-
nation. No, we're
No,
talking about
but no,
nationwide
I'm telling you,
eyeballs.
Big 12, this
Trent,
is not
you're
Big
saying
10.
no. Your point is that they're mad because of how late the games go. The games start at the same time, just in different time zones.
No,
I get
we
it. I
agree with
get
you
that.
but it's a game like that. You don't think everyone in the nation wants to watch that game and
So
play it
what
at- start
time
at
do you have to play it
5?
at?
Start it at 5.
That's 8.
I'm fine with
5.
4 PST, right?
Okay, but that's
Yeah.
you're still the game's not getting done until 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
no, that's different
that's
than 2 in the
better than-
morning.
Yes.
I think you guys underestimate how many people watch.
There's people that have
Not
said they
college.
didn't vote for Christian McCaffrey to win the Heisman because these games were too late at night.
Do you think those people act like those are
Heisman
not,
voters, yes.
They're not college football fans. They're media who don't watch games.
If I have to go to church on Sunday or anything on Sunday, I'm not going to stay up till 2 a.m. to watch a football game.
We're getting the weeds. I don't know.
Like I'm saying, you're the unusual one probably. Who's like if you
that stay up till 10:30, 11 on a Saturday
2
night.
2:30.
a.m.
How are we
2
Trent?
a.m.
Trent,
I'm
like,
talking about East Coast
I
people.
understand that, but like I think the media. Okay, Heisman voters don't watch football games because the media is a joke. So I'm not even gonna
But they do vote for the Heisman.
Okay, well, who cares? Like the commissioners of the conference don't care. They care about TV numbers. Plenty of people are up at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night.
Not as
Maybe
much
at a
as
club. Like they're not.
I'm telling you, like,
Jordan.
hey, you're not going to have people over to your house to watch a football game that ends at 2 in the
If the
morning.
game-
Trent, do you understand how normal it is on the East Coast? UFC fights every single Saturday go till that time on a Saturday night. You live on the East Coast, you're a sports fan, you're going to be up. If there's
it's a terrible life.
NBA games,
you lose casual.
NBA games start at 10 p.m. Like, but also the casuals on the East Coast are watching East Coast teams.
I'm just telling you, this is really bad for the Pac-12. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they don't do that. They might tell USC like, hey, we'll play there, but you have to start your games at 5 p.m. Pacific time. You're not starting at 7
No, they
o'clock.
won't because they want those TV. They want that. That's the whole point of having the West Coast teams is that they get those network spots. They have teams in the late night games.
Yeah, okay. I think you could blow it up more if you did it earlier, but maybe I'm wrong.
But there's already
people
plenty
will
of
watch
games in those time segments because of all the teams on the East Coast.
Yeah, but you want
You
to be
have
the
to
team you want to watch. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying they could start them a
I
little bit
think you
earlier.
guys underestimate how many people are up watching.
Yeah, I just saw what I saw on Twitter of people on the East Coast going like, this is terrible how late this game is.
All I know is the national.
Those are
championship-
casual sports fans. though.
I don't think that people
All I
on
know is
Twitter.
the Rose Bowl does not start at 7 p.m. Pacific
PST.
time.
Yeah.
It does not start at 7 p.m.
That's
nor
a whole.
does-
That's a whole.
nor does the-
That's a bad comparison.
What?
Nor does
Rose-
the national championship.
Ro-
That's actually
Or
a
the
great
national
point.
championship
Yeah.
game. If it's played on the West Coast, it's not playing at 7 p.m. Pacific
Yeah, it was
time.
at 4 this year.
Yeah, it's at 4 because that's how you get.
Yeah,
more
but
people
we're
to
talking
watch.
about a normal Saturday. They have to fill time slots on network TV.
No, yes, but if you're choosing a time slot on network TV and it's going to be a big game, you still, again, want the most eyeballs on that game. Play it at a time where everyone's going to watch it.
I mean, they also do these schedules way in advance before anyone knew that
Okay,
Colorado was.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I agree
Like-
with that.
That's why you should keep the TBD on there.
I'm sure, like Tennessee, Florida. I'd be curious if the numbers are on Tennessee, Florida compared to Colorado State.
That game got done though.
I think everyone's watching Colorado State right now.
I think that game might be an
everyone's watching
exception.
Colorado.
What's the numbers on Colorado? That's what I'm actually curious. It's not worth looking
It's
up
not
right
worth.
now.
I think that kind of does it though, guys. I'll be back on Tuesday with a waiver wire pod, so you won't want to miss that. Little bit of a college football talk here today, but it was a fun show. Phil's looking at the numbers.
No. This was 8.7 million viewers watch Colorado defeat Nebraska. How many viewers watch Colorado
Well,
College State?
I'm so excited.
16 million combined viewers.
Yep, that late night really hurt the viewership.
Yeah, it probably would have been way more though earlier. I think Jordan.
Yeah, I don't.
It
This
probably would
is,
have been in the 20s if it started 3 hours earlier.
yeah.
You guys, okay? Whatever you guys.
I can't wait to argue about this the rest of the night. But hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. And as always, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.